Hey folks, today's episode we're going to be working on the wheels on this trailer. We're going to inspect the drums and the bearings and change the put new tires on. Stay tuned. Hello, welcome back to Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. I'm your host Jerry Hansen. In this episode number 6 of building my flatbed trailer, we're going to focus on just the wheels, tires, the leaf springs, and we're going to do trailer maintenance and change out for the new wheels and tires I purchased for this trailer. That way, there's a video resource right here for anybody who has an RV or a utility trailer that you need to inspect your bearings, and we'll figure out how you do that today. So let's get busy. First, I want to drop the tongue down as low as I can get it, and that might be as low as I can get it. I'm going to place jack stands in the back here, and I'm just going to crank the tongue up as high as it'll go. Hopefully this will jack the wheels off the ground. I pre-loosened the lugs, so it shouldn't be any problem. Need to take the grease cap off. There you go. Remove your cotter pin by bending it straight. And it should pop right out of there. It might take a little coaxing. There. Cotter pin is out. Remove the nut. Now that nut's not on there tight. It's just to hold it in place. You do not want this tight. The spindle looks like it's in really good shape. So I'm going to hit this with a water hose just to clean out all the spider web. This down here is your electromagnet, and it activates with that inside the drum, and then it causes these brake shoes to compress against the brake, against the drum, and it depends on how much energy is going to there through your braking mechanism you have installed in your truck, that and how severe the braking will be. It could be a light braking or heavy braking. So the brakes are in excellent condition. I don't need to do anything in here. I just want to inspect my bearing. And there it is. We'll clean it up. You know what? This bearing does not look worn at all. We just need to clean this up with a solvent solution and re-grease it. That's all I want to do with it. Okay, now I jerry-rigged, yep, you heard me right. I jerry-rigged a 12-volt battery, which was from my power tools, and we found the electric brake positions on the plug by using, where is it? Okay, now I need to test the brakes to find out if they're operational. And so what I did is I took one of my batteries from my 12-volt power tool, got some alligator clips attached to my little leads that goes on my voltmeter. Yeah, I'm jerry-rigging it. You heard me right, jerry-rigging it. So I found the location of the brake negative and positive using my diagram on this plug, and we just inserted them into the plug, and we're going to attach the screwdriver to the magnet once we activate the magnetic field, because that's how the brakes work on this, is you activate the magnetic field and then they come in contact with the steel rotor that's inside the drum, and as the drum turns, it causes the brakes to push forward to stop the trailer. Okay, I pulled everything out and I cleaned everything up. This is the grease cap that goes over the axle. Then we've got our castle nut, because it's in the shape of a castle, see? And we've got a new cotter pin, because I don't like using old cotter pins, because when you bend metal, it fatigues it, so it could break and fall out, and then your wheel falls out, and we don't want that to happen. So we clean those up on the wire grinder, and there's this little piece. Take notice of that little tab right there. Yeah, the axle has a notch in it. It's a key. And so this is going to go on one way. So this goes over the top of your outer bearing. Now I inspected the bearing, and what we're expecting, I cleaned it up with some solvent, some cleaner, and I inspected it carefully. And what I'm looking for is wear, but mainly heat. Heat will discolor it and turn the metal kind of purple. And also checking the axle itself to see if there's any heat discoloration in it. None. This has very little wear. In fact, I don't think this trailer had a lot of mileage on it, because this rear bearing, same condition. It's perfectly okay. So I don't have to change the bearings. And then we got a rear seal. We're going to replace that. And then we've got this other little piece that goes in the back. And then that completes our assembly. I did take the hub off. I wire brushed it down, cleaned it up, inspected both the rotor and the drum to where the brakes come in contact with, and make sure there's no grooves or wear. Check the brakes. Check the surface of the magnet itself, the electromagnet, and seeing if there's any grooves. I tell you what, I don't think this trailer was used, the brakes were even used, ever, because there's very little or no sign of wear anywhere on the hubs or on the brake pads at all. Okay, after inspecting the brakes, I went over to the other side of the trailer and looked at the brakes, because this side doesn't look like the brakes have been worn at all. Not at all. And then we went and looked at the other side to inspect those once I got that wheel off, and discovered the spacer and two springs are missing on this side, right here on the bottom. So I had to go down to the trailer shop and purchase a new spacer and some springs to be able to replace the ones that are missing on this side, so the brakes will actually engage and work. Now I used the calipers on the other spacers and spaced this exactly the same way as that other spacer. So I'm going to go ahead and put my springs on. And make sure this is pointing that way towards the back. Oh, there it is. Clips into place. Now those are intact. And now I can put my wheels and my bearings back in, but I gotta grease the bearings. I'm gonna flip this over. Put my gloves on because I am going to grease those bearings. I also gotta grease the inside of this wheel here. Put a blob in your hand and press and get the grease to move in and pack in through all the bearings. That packs it tight. Then I'm just going to really do a good job at greasing the inside of this. The bearing goes in this way. And my bearing seal goes on top of it. And this sits down over the top of that. Then we pack the other bearing, the smaller bearing. Set that aside. Grease the spindle really good. Place this carefully on the spindle. Set the bearing in, beveled side in. And then you've got this washer that has a keeper. You've got a groove on the top. You put that right over the top of that. And then you got a castle nut, because it's got grooves in it in the shape of a castle. So we're going to put that on. I got my wrench that I'm going to make sure it's all the way on, because I don't want barely any play in the wheel at all. Okay, and you back it off. Put your cotter pin in, slide the cotter pin in, and then take your pliers and bend it over. And that'll hold it in place and keep your nut from loosening. And now you finish it off by placing a grease cap in here. Now I have my wheels on both sides, and before I mount my wheels and tires onto these, I've got access to my lubricating points for the leaf springs. Now what I did is I just removed the Zerk fittings and put them on the wire brush wheel and cleaned them up, and now they're viable, they're cleaned out, and we can pump some grease into those fittings, and I'll show you. And we see it popping out the other side, so that's done. And that's done. And we've got one more right here. And that's lubricated. Keep it clean and tidy and just wipe those off with a paper towel. Okay, let's complete this part of the project by adding the new wheels and tires. I also took the lug nuts and put them on the wire brush also. So we cleaned those up. And I want to show you guys something for those of you who don't know. You see it beveled on this side? This is the side that goes in because it helps center the tire on the lugs. Okay, I took it off the jack so we can tighten these lugs. And of course, you always want to check your lugs after a few miles down the road, and then check them again every couple of months. You don't want to lose a wheel. I got these stickers that apply to the side of the trailer for the lighting, reflective lighting on the trailer. That way cars coming on the side street, they could see which direction the trailer is going. The trailer build project in this segment of it, it took probably about a month to film. My camera broke, and I had to use a camera of lower quality. Sent my camera off to the shop and got it back today, and I'm finishing up this project today and filming it with, my Canon XF100. I'm glad I got my main camera back. So, what held me up for so long were the rear bearing seals on the backs of the wheel hubs. Is these old, they don't make these anymore. They're a felt seal, and nobody carried them. So I had to go to a bearing shop that specializes in bearings, and they couldn't find them. Well, they did find the size I needed. After we measured the outside and the inside, and we got a number, but he told me I could order it through Napa from the manufacturer, and Napa can get it to me, shipped to me faster. So instead of 10 days with this bearing company, they're very nice about it. We got these bearings right here from the factory in Kentucky, and it took, through Napa, it took 10 days. Oh boy, but we got the seals, got the trailer done, but not quite. I've got some special features I'm going to be adding to the trailer. That will be my final episode because I want to do this build right. As far as the trailer goes, it's usable. The lights are on, the wheels are on, everything's rebuilt. But what I'm going to be doing is building some custom ramps for the trailer, and I'm also going to be installing a 2 more special features. Yeah, we'll keep that a surprise. So stay tuned to the final episode of the trailer build. I'm glad this project is behind me. Now I can move on to that big thing behind me. I just need to repair the floor in that. We'll get some videos put out on the restoration of this big RV. Hey, I'm also able to use the audio on this camera because the repair shop was able to repair my audio as well. So it's going to make my rendering of my shows a lot better. Stay tuned to more videos. You can do that by subscribing and then clicking that bell icon that will alert you to new videos as I do upload them. Give us a thumbs up, click the like button, and share our videos on your social media platforms. Helps the channel out a lot. Remember to always be safe and always be kind. Hey, we'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye now.